probably noticed a distinct lack of videos from me recently, and in fact a number of you have reached out either via the YouTube comments or via Twitter to express your concern and try to find out what's going on, and I'm very grateful for that. It's always nice to know that my work's appreciated and that at least some of you miss it if it's not around. Twitter, by the way, is a great place to keep up with my musings, so you should definitely follow me if you're not doing so already. But what's going on? Where have I been? And is this channel going to continue? Let me explain. First of all, I'm still alive, everything's reasonably well, and there's no huge cause for concern. Things got really crazy at work at the end of October, and that led to a load of late nights and very little time or indeed motivation for much else. Thankfully that's calmed down a bit now, and I'm managing to take a decent Christmas break. I'm hopeful for a more balanced workload going forward in the new year, and things should return to normal. Of course that wasn't enough. If you've been following the channel for a while now, you'll know that I sold my MG ZS EV to fund a hopeful house move to a bigger house. Things kicked off in quite a big way. My current house is sold subject to contract. My new house is actually finished, it's ready to move into, and in fact I was meant to move on Friday last week. So I've spent a good few weeks moving furniture around, decluttering, all of that other fun stuff that goes with getting ready to move, whilst also continuing to put out fires at work and spend far too long on the phone to solicitors, to mortgage brokers, and trying to get them to do their job properly. Delightful stuff, and stuff that means it has tried its hardest to distract me from any want to produce videos after a day of all that. Sadly, the move's on hold for a few weeks thanks to some staggering levels of incompetence down the chain, but hopefully in the new year it'll all be sorted, and I'll even have a dedicated studio space for filming, so you can all stop moaning at me for setting videos in my downstairs toilet, which is actually just a spare bit of space in one of the bedrooms. I'm currently filming in the now empty spare room since I've moved all the furniture into storage. It's a slight improvement, I guess, slightly better surroundings. I'm sure you'll agree it's at least slightly better than where we were before. So that's the boring life stuff out of the way. Let's talk about cars, shall we? Because I'm sure that's what you're all really interested in. The Audi e-tron that I was driving went back to onto because they suddenly had availability of something else that I was very keen to try, and that was the Audi Q4. Quite a few of you commented on videos about the e-tron that the Q4 or its siblings, that being the Volkswagen ID.4 or the Skoda Enyaq, were a far more sensibly priced competitor to the full-fat e-tron, basically the same car for a lot less money, I think one person in particular said. So I thought, you know what, let's give it a go and see what it's like. And I can confirm, if you're one of the people saying that a Q4 is a suitable replacement for an e-tron, that you are deeply, deeply wrong. It was absolutely horrible. I hated every minute I spent with it, I hated every mile I drove in it. It was just awful, and I'm very, very glad that I only had it for 1 month. I'll bring you a full debrief on the Audi Q4 shortly, and the reasons why I think you definitely shouldn't buy one. But I would not be rushing to buy one, and I think it's a perfect example of how if you take a short-term rental from someone like Onto for a month, it can be very, very useful to teach you a lot more about a car than a quick once-round-the-block test drive from a dealership ever could. You're never going to get the same experience in 20 minutes what you could in a full month, and although it costs a little bit more, well, it costs quite a lot more at £999 for the Q4 for a month, it taught me an awful lot. And I didn't just hate it because it was inferior to the bigger, more expensive one. The Q4 is now gone, thankfully, and I'll have some details of what replaced it fairly shortly. It's not very exciting, it's not particularly electric, and I think many of you are going to be actually pretty horrified by it, so I don't think it will feature on the channel very much. I do have a new EV in the household. Our 2014 BMW i3 range extender has gone and has been replaced. There'll be more details on its replacement coming fairly shortly, and I think you'll be a little bit more interested in that one. No news from Citroën yet on my AMI reservation. They're keeping their cards very close to their chest. I wonder how many people have actually asked them for their reservation deposit back, because they've had complete radio silence from Citroën since placing it. You wouldn't think it would kill them to give us some details. That's everything from me for now. Just a quick update to let you know I'm still alive, there's no need to worry, and normal service will resume as soon as possible. In the meantime, I hope you and your families have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.